Looking for these better days.
It is Tuesday, January 6th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. It was a Black Monday indeed in the NFL yesterday as more head coaches were shown the door. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. We're going to get into the NBA schedule for tonight. Mac has a lean and maybe a best bet on this schedule. Plus, we have to talk about our brand new NHL Game Center up on betterday.com. But Mackenzie, we start in the NFL where we had more head coaching firings yesterday. We already knew about Raheem Morris for the Atlanta Falcons. That came down late on Sunday. And then yesterday, we found out Pete Carroll was dismissed by the Las Vegas Raiders. Jonathan Gannon fired by the Arizona Cardinals. Kevin Stefanski let go by the Cleveland Browns. Either of those moves surprise you?
Cleveland a little bit. There was some are they tanking vibes around Cleveland. Some thought there was like a wink and a nod, like if you do this for us and get us a better draft pick, we'll do better for you. Maybe there was some sort of free meals for life in Cleveland, but Kevin Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year in his 6 years. It's very NBA-like for him to be gone already.
Yeah, isn't that wild? I mean, do people even remember that he's won Coach of the Year twice?
He went to Pittsburgh, when the Browns hadn't won a playoff game since before they existed, and won by scoring 49 points as an offensive coach in Pittsburgh with Baker Mayfield. I mean, he definitely will have some interest, both as an offensive coordinator and as a head coach going forward.
What's really crazy is that the general manager kept his job. And that I don't understand.
Because of the Deshaun Watson trade. You have to see the long-term vision.
The long-term vision, the guy made the worst trade in NFL history.
Exactly.
Okay, if you want to get rid of your head coach, how do you keep your general manager?
I don't see the argument either. With Atlanta, they got rid of both, and it was like at least the GM and maybe also the coach. I thought it was the same thing here.
Meanwhile, in Miami, this makes no sense. Mike McDaniel says that he's actually going to be part of the interviewing process for their new general manager, and that he's going to remain the head coach until he's told otherwise. Like, here's what's going to happen. They're going to hire a general manager, and then that GM's going to fire Mike McDaniel. Like, it doesn't work out. We've seen this before. It never works out when you keep the head coach and bring in a new general manager. The GM wants to hire their guy. They want to start fresh. It never works out. Rex Ryan stayed with the New York Jets when they hired a new general manager, and then what happened? Then Rex was gone, and guess what? The GM was gone as well, too. So it never works out. I'm shocked that the Dolphins are deciding to do this.
I'm trying to think of a situation where it's even been, it only seems bad. I don't know. Is there any situation where a head coach survived for whatever reason, a GM turnover?
No, I mean, could it like
there probably was some retirings, like Harbaugh. He had that same guy forever in Baltimore. Well, maybe he won't survive anyway.
Well, Ozzie Newsome, you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Belichick was the general manager, right? So, yeah. I mean, they've gotten rid of presidents of football operations, if you will, at times, right? Didn't New England have they did have changeover in their front office, but Belichick was the GM. So I've never seen this work out.
So I got this database here since 2015 for all the times there's been a brand new GM and a head coach that's not in his first year. There's been 17. John Harbaugh survived. Andy Reid survived. Bill O'Brien became the GM, so I guess that counts. Overall, in that year, 17 times, they've gone over their win total. Let's see, 9 times and gone under 8. So a lot of valuable information there.
Yeah.
Go bet accordingly.
Give me the 9 overs though.
John Harbaugh
doesn't count.
Andy Reid in 2016
doesn't count.
All right, tell me why it doesn't count after I finish the list. Bill O'Brien.
Because those are established coaches that were never on the hot seat.
Right.
I don't think those coaches count. And those front office executives, I don't think they were fired because of the team's performance. They were either retired or maybe they took other jobs. So
Bill O'Brien became the GM, so that's definitely an exception. Ron Rivera in 2017, survived about another year. Jim Caldwell survived another 1
Okay.
year in Detroit, and Mike Tomlin doesn't count. John
Tomlin doesn't
Gruden
count.
also fired, but for different reasons, but very
Yep.
soon afterwards. And then Andy Reid again.
So really,
So
we're
there's
saying,
never been a head coach that's on the hot seat, got a new GM, and survived, or even had a decent season.
yeah, we're really
Jay
seeing
Gruden, by the way, that didn't go above expectations. Jay Gruden, Ron Rivera, a bunch of these guys, Matt Rule, fired soon after.
exactly. So really, we're saying like Jim Caldwell had and Ron Rivera had the only 2 seasons that they went over their win total the next year.
By
when
the way,
those-
Mike Vrabel's on this list. Probably Tennessee was the problem. I think we know now. Tennessee with all of
You
their
think?
let's trade our number 1 pick that my head coach is yelling at me for. Yeah.
You think? It's let's look now at the jobs though, Mac. Like who right now of the open jobs in the NFL, which job is the most appealing job for you? You are Mackenzie Rivers.
Yep.
You are the hot shot new everyone knows that you're in the Shanahan tree, right?
Yep.
And so
Definitely I was a ball boy for the Broncos.
that's what I'm saying. Everyone knows that you're in the Shanahan tree, and they're saying, listen, we want to hire this Mackenzie Rivers guy. Which job is the most attractive to you that's open right now?
People think the NFL salary cap is the ultimate equalizer. It's really not. Because if you look at what the Rams can do and you look at what the Bengals can do, they're not the same thing. Cash is king. So there's 2 things what I would think about. One is quarterback. Mike Vrabel made the right decision going to the MVP co-favorite Drake May's team. So I think you got to have a promising quarterback. I would take the New York Giants because you have the 2 things. You have the appeal, the big market, the establishment, the 2 Super Bowl championships or 4 Super Bowl championships over the last 30 years. And you have a quarterback at least I'm willing to take my chance on in Jackson Dart.
Mackenzie, that's a very smart decision. It's a very smart decision.
Thank you.
Because also, when you look at these other openings, the Giants are the only one that you know who the starting quarterback is next year.
Yeah, I'm not in love with Michael Penix. Definitely not. Cam Ward. I know he's going to be the starting quarterback. I wouldn't say I'd be thrilled about it, but yeah. Raiders, no idea. Browns, no clue.
Exactly. But
Arizona, no clue.
Arizona, no clue. The Giants, Jackson Dart's your starting quarterback. And then you get Malik Neighbors coming back. You get Cam Scatterbo coming back. You got that talent on defense that you drafted.
Yep.
You're in the New York market. I mean, the only negative about taking the Giants job is that Joe Shane is still their general manager.
That's true. We just talked about how you want to start fresh with both a new GM and a new coach.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really the only negative right now about this Giants job. But
you can't trade away Saquon Barkley. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Cannot do it.
Boy, I'd have a real hard time if he signs with Philadelphia. How do you keep your job after that?
I know, right?
How do you keep your job after that? And they win the freaking Super Bowl. How do you keep your job? Unbelievable. All right.
Like, what's the worst that could happen? Yeah.
All right. Well, also yesterday, Mackenzie, speaking of the NFL, the final standings for the Westgate Season Wins contest came out. We already gave out a congratulations on yesterday's show to our man Steve Fezzik, who will be doing a live stream for Better Day Premium members coming up this Friday. Fez finished 9th place in Circa Millions, 1st place in the Westgate Super Contest second half. Well, the Westgate Season Wins contest results came out, and yours truly, Scott Seidenberg from BetterDay.com, finished tied for 2nd place. However, I didn't. Because of the tiebreaker rules, technically, even though I finished with the 2nd best record, I wound up being tied with a bunch of other people. So I wound up with a 7th place finish in the Westgate NFL Season Wins contest, just outside the money. So I do not cash in the contest, Mackenzie.
How mad are you at Tanner McKee and or Josh Johnson?
See, that's the thing, okay? I'm glad you brought that up because the winner finished with 21.5 points. I finished with 20.5 points. And the tiebreaker was the Eagles' record. That was the tiebreaker for the Westgate Season Wins Challenge. I had Eagles over 11.5 in my entry. So if the Eagles would have won on Sunday, my final score would have been 21.5. So I don't know if any of the leaders at 21.5 would have won also with the Eagles. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't see their selections. But safe to say that instead of finishing in second place, there's a very good chance I finish in first place, right?
Tied for first. Yeah, at
Tied
least.
for first. Now my tiebreaker entry, I put Eagles with exactly 12 wins as my tiebreaker.
They entered the fourth quarter up 17-10. Did you know at that time how much you needed them to just hold on?
No, because
There was some speculation that they didn't want to win. They wanted to not play the Packers.
So if the Eagles would have won and finished with 12 wins, I'd probably win $25,000 in the Westgate.
So here's what you do. You sue the NFL because you said the Eagles were not trying to win. There were some shenanigans. Therefore, I should have been in line to win.
So I talked with Fez yesterday, and he was saying it sucks that I didn't know, like no one, I didn't know like the other people's standings because, like I could have hedged, like I would have placed a bet on the Commanders.
Commanders
right?
2-1 to win in the fourth quarter.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would have placed a bet on the Commanders, but I didn't know it at that time. But I still think, listen, it's a great showing, even though I finished tied for 7th because of tiebreakers. Because
One entry.
One entry. Yep. Because there was still a lot of people that were, there was 4 of us that wound up being tied, right? So
what were some of your hits? You obviously had Niners over, Bills over. Those are your Super Bowl teams.
Yeah, I'll give you the results here. So by the way, I finished tied for 7th. There was over 80 contestants in this thing because it's 81st was tied, whatever. So first place, second place, and third place all had the same record, 21.5. And then fourth place, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us that had 20.5. So 3 of them, I guess because of tiebreakers, finished in fourth place. And then the rest of us finished tied for 7th and tied for 10th. So it's sad. It's sad. Some of my wins, here we go. We had, let's see, Cardinals under, winner. Falcons push on the 8. Okay. I had Falcons under, by the way. So if they would have lost that game, or if they would have lost to the Rams, then it would have been an extra win.
How different would life be if they would have beaten the Jets in that fourth quarter?
Well, they
would have won the division.
Yeah.
The Jets would have the number 1 pick.
Yeah. So I had Falcons under, then that was a push. Ravens under, winner. Bills over, winner. Panthers over, winner. Bears over, winner. Bengals under, winner. Browns under, winner. Cowboys under, winner. Broncos over, winner. Lions under, winner. Packers under, winner. Texans.
Oh, wow. That was 9.5? Yeah.
9.5, yep. Texans under, loser. Colts under, loser. I mean, I didn't know Daniel Jones.
They had 7.5 and they finished with 8.
Yeah, I know, right? Jaguars over, winner. Chiefs under, winner. Raiders, I picked the over. I don't know why. I thought Geno Smith and Pete Carroll, you never know. Raiders over was a loser. Chargers under 9.5 was a loser. Rams under 10 was a loser. Dolphins under was a winner. Vikings under, winner. Patriots under 8.5, loser. That was probably my worst take of the offseason. Was the Patriots going under.
I mean, nobody saw it coming. It's like, why are they going to be 10 games better?
Yep.
Mike Vrabel.
Saints under 5, loser.
That was a funny line because it opened 6.5, then Derek Carr retires. It goes to like 4.5. I guess it's settled around 5 for the contest, but all the money, all the sharps were pounding the Saints under all summer.
I mean, they finished with 6 wins. Like one of those Tyler Shuck wins, like the Panthers, Jets, like Titans. Like, I mean, I couldn't get like one of them. Like, that bothers me. Here's another one that was really stupid, although I didn't think so at the time. I thought we'd see more of Jackson Dart. Giants over. That was a loser. I had Giants over 5.5. They finished with 4 wins.
If you would have known that they would have had 5 fourth quarter leads on the road by 10 points or whatever it was.
I know.
And they'd go 0-5 in all of them.
Yep. Jets under was a winner. Eagles over 11.5. We talked about that. That was the one that would have won me the contest. Steelers over, winner. 49ers over, winner. Seahawks over, winner. Bucks over 9.5, loser.
Looked good at 5-0.
It looked great. Titans. I was higher on the Titans. I did Titans over 5.5. That was
People had the Titans win the division.
That was a bad take. Commanders under, winner. And yeah, my tiebreaker was the Eagles with 12 wins. So, I mean, think about some of the ones that I got wrong that were like, in hindsight, stupid. Why in the world would I do Titans over 5.5? Why in the world would I do Giants over 5.5? Why in the world would I do Patriots under? Like, think about those stupid losers that I had. I could have dominated this contest. I could have finished with like 25 wins.
There's a couple that I would have I wish I could have stood in front of the train, like Raiders over. But then I would have also argued that Chiefs under was a bad call. I'm like, come on, you can't go against Andy Reid. He wins the division every year.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, would you have argued against my Chargers under?
No, I would not have. Yeah. I wish I would have. Trey Lance is the backup. You know how hard they're going to have to play to keep Justin Herbert healthy? Yeah,
so the ones that really bother me that could have changed my whole trajectory here, Patriots under was the Patriots under loser, the Saints under loser, the Giants over loser. 2, 3 just really, really, and the Titans. 4 really stupid plays out of me.
21 out of 32 ain't bad.
22 technically. So 22 because I got the push on the Falcons. So 22. Yeah, or 21. Yep, 21 out of 32. That should have been 20. I mean, I should have won this thing. But good showing for us. And yep, we'll run it back next year, right? We will run it back next year. So a second place / 7th place finish for me in the Westgate NFL season wins contest. That was on the heels of my outside the money finish in the baseball season wins contest, where I finished with in 9th place in that one. So I had 20 wins.
You keep throwing top 10 finishes on the board.
Yeah, that one actually. That was bad.
There was only 9 entrants in that one, so that's different.
I actually had 5 entrants in that one, and my best one. I had 9, 12, 16, and then I had a 49 and a 75. I just went opposite on some of my plays on that one. But anyway, yep, just outside the money in both contests. Really, the NFL was the closest one here. All right, college football. We're going to do more NFL, of course, as we get closer and closer to the playoffs this weekend. College football with the playoffs semifinals on Thursday. We will have a preview on Thursday morning, a preview of both of those games, so a special college football conversation coming up on Thursday's pod. We had the FCS championship game last night, Mackenzie, and boy, did that deliver. We gave out 2 plays up on betterday.com. We had the over in the game, which hit easily. 35-34 was the final. We had Montana State team total over 34.5. They got it in overtime, 35. They had 21 points, though, at the half. It was a 21-7 half-time lead for Montana State. And then credit Illinois State. They came back and had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal not a game-winning, but a go-ahead field goal in the final minute. It gets blocked, picked up, and returned across midfield by Montana State. But then a bad snap, a sack. We headed into overtime, where Illinois State scored first in overtime, and the extra point was blocked. So another kick that was blocked. And then on 4th down, Montana State scores their touchdown and kicks their extra point to win the national championship. 35-34 was the final in a game that absolutely delivered. I mean, what a game.
Game of the year? Missed kick at the end, game of the year, back-to-back nights?
Game of the year in the FCS, yes. Game of the year in the FCS. It absolutely delivered. Was a thrill to watch, was a thrill to cash on the bets, and now we move on to FBS with the college football playoff semifinals coming up here on Thursday night. All right, we got a busy slate in the NBA, plus we also have to talk about, Mac, our brand new NHL Game Center up on betterday.com. So let's get to that coming up.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/secure. Protect yourself now at aura.com/secure.
Every Friday from 6 to 7:30, it's NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel, your pregame for the weekend. We're talking limited time specials you won't want to miss. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all dropping in the app during happy hour. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see the week's special. Then, make your move before the shot clock expires at 7:30 Eastern. It's the perfect way to start your weekend. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. Or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
NBA on the schedule for tonight. Mackenzie's model has identified several plays. We're going to try and narrow it down to get you some best bets. But, Mac, let's run through the schedule here and all these odds, of course, courtesy of our friends over at FanDuel. You have the Cleveland Cavaliers, 5.5-point favorites at the Indiana Pacers. The Orlando Magic, 7-point favorites at the Wizards. San Antonio, 5.5-point favorites at the Grizzlies. Miami is at Minnesota. The Timberwolves, 5.5-point favorites. Lakers, 5.5-point favorites at the Pelicans. And the Mavericks, 5.5-point favorites at the Sacramento Kings. Okay, is the NBA just like basic 5.5 for a favorite home court? Like, why is every game zone? Why is every game minus 5.5?
Well, the lines are inflating as points go up, spreads matter less. So it's often about picking winners, but the market is not trying to make it easy. So that's why a lot of these road favorites are not 2 or 3 anymore. They're like the San Antonio Spurs from 5.5 to 6.5. My model liked it at 5.5. I got to say, I still like it at 6.5. That's a strong lean for me. But my favorite play on the board right now is still 5.5, and that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because the Indiana Pacers have had some impressive almost covers, stayed in it versus the Spurs, stayed in it versus the Magic, but they've also shot 40% from 3. You might say, that's great. This team's doing better. That's exactly what I identify as something that's somewhat of a weakness. If you're underperforming and you're red hot from 3, you only have one place to go, and that's usually to regress on the 3-point shooting and still play just as bad as you have been playing. So I've gotten bit on the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I still think they are a top 6 team in the league, and I think they roll here.
All right. Any other games that you are going to monitor, maybe some player availability for tonight before you make a final decision on a play?
Pelicans first quarter when Zion has been in, we've cashed with it. If he's in, I'm going to have a hard time arguing against it because it's been so red hot.
Okay. All right. In the NHL, happy to get a winner last night on the ice with the Los Angeles Kings against the Minnesota Wild. So good start for our, I guess, almost post-football NHL. Tonight we have a much larger slate of games. We'll see if the Colorado Avalanche can bounce back after their regulation loss. I mean, who are the Avalanche to lose in regulation? My goodness. But they are minus 125 favorites at the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. You have Dallas at Carolina. The Hurricanes minus 134. The Duckies are at the Flyers. Philadelphia minus 152. Vancouver at Buffalo. Buffalo minus 192. Florida at Toronto. And the Panthers are minus 132 road favorite. Devils visit the Islanders. New Jersey minus 120. VGK is up in Winnipeg where the Knights are a small -115 favorite. Nashville visits Edmonton, the Oilers -170. The Bruins at the Kraken, Boston -126, and Columbus at San Jose with the Jackets -128. As far as like looking at situational spots here, I would love to fade like the Kraken playing on the second night of a back-to-back, the Ducks playing on the second night of a back-to-back. You know how I love the back-to-backs, especially when you're on the road. So the Ducks last night, they played in Washington against the Capitals. They lost 7-4, and now they'll go to Philadelphia to take on the Flyers tonight. The Kraken last night, a 5-1 win in Calgary against the Flames, and now they return home to take on the Boston Bruins. So quick turnaround for both the Kraken and the Ducks. I'd be looking to fade both of those teams. Speaking of the NHL, brand new up on betterday.com. If you click on the NHL tab, yes, we still have our first period database, which is available there, but we have a brand new NHL Game Center exclusively for Better Day Insider and Premium members. It is a collaboration with our friends over at handygraphs.com. They do a great job with hockey analytics, also baseball analytics, so that is going to be a partnership that we'll have coming up for baseball season as well. But the NHL Game Center will show you the odds on every game. It'll show you with a little heat map. There'll be a little flame next to a team if they're hot, a little snowflake next to a team if they're cold, and game insights provided by our friends over at Handygraphs. So each game has a little blurb written underneath it. So if you are a Better Day Insider or Premium member, head on over to our brand new NHL Game Center. The link for it is on our homepage, but it's also just click on the NHL tab up on betterday.com, and you will see all the games on the schedule with little insights and hot and cold maps, so you can see who is who we're leaning towards, or who the model is.
It's just more. It's more ideas. I was thinking about this. A lot of people construct their handicaps, and they're like, "All right, let me understand everything about a game, and then I'll be able to tell you if the line is right." I think that's good. That's obviously ideal. If God could tell you everything about a game, that's great. But I think it's much more likely to find winners if you're just looking at all the analysis, all the different insights you can draw, and say, this stands out. This is not being accounted for. This new goalie is doing X, Y, and Z, that every other part of the algorithm, the wisdom of crowds, it might all be right. But if you can find a couple insights that you think are underappreciated, that's where you can find some winners pretty quick.
Absolutely. So really happy to partner with the guys over at Handygraphs. Adam and CJ are great guys. We'll be doing more with them. We'll have them on the podcast as well. We'll feature some more content up on the website for members. But right now, the NHL page is refreshed, and you have the Game Center available for you each and every day up on betterday.com. Congratulations to the Swedes. Sweden defeating Czechia in the final of the IIHF World Juniors. Sweden gets the win 4-2. It goes over 5.5, and Canada gets the bronze medal with a 6-3 win over Finland. Mackenzie, every game in the medal round went over. Every game.
Fun time.
Yeah, every game in the medal round went over. The championship game was lined at 5.5, and that went over with the 4-2 finish. But the other games, like it was 6.5 Canada-Finland, that goes over. 6.5 Canada-Czechia, that goes over. Same thing, Sweden-Finland was 7 goals. Canada-Slovakia was 8 goals. Finland-USA, 7 goals. Czechia-Switzerland, 8 goals. Every game in the medal round went over. So fun times there in Minnesota for the World Juniors. Congratulations to Sweden. Not so much for our Canada futures, but the Canadians do take home the bronze, and now we can focus our attention on the senior teams coming up here for the Olympics, which is going to be a lot of fun. We have odds, Mackenzie, for the Winter Olympics.
Canada's -110.
Canada is a +135 favorite to take home the gold medal. The United States is your second favorite at +190. Sweden is your third favorite at +550.
I can't believe I don't know this, but are these in LA, or that's the Summer Olympics?
That's the Summer Olympics, Mackenzie.
Where are these ones?
This is in Italy.
That's close to LA, right? I think that's
Yeah.
they have the Mediterranean diet over there.
It's a little bit, yeah, olive oil. As far as the Olympic
Avocados.
the Olympic women's hockey, the United States a -130 favorite, Canada +105, Czechia +4,000 as the third favorite to win the award. So if it's not USA Canada, massive upset on the women's side for the Winter Olympics. So fun stuff there when it comes to the NHL. All right, a reminder, we for the Game Center up on betterday.com, we are going to continue to roll out new features as we progress throughout the week and weeks here into 2026. You can always hit us up on social media as well. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.